Okay, hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. So today I'm going to be doing a first impressions on the Melt Amor Eterno Vida palette. This is new to me. I talked about this, about recently getting this in my eyeshadow palette tag, I believe, and I haven't used it yet. I haven't even swatched it. I'm so excited. It's such a beautiful palette, and I'm going to do a first impressions on this and just play with it a little, try it out. This is not necessarily a new palette. It's been out since the holidays and no one really watches these videos when I do them, but I really like to do them. And you know what? I think it's still important to talk about releases that maybe aren't the newest, but I don't know, maybe other people want to buy this palette now too, you know? Like, we can also talk about some older products, okay? And then it's fine. Even if that means 15 people watch this video, honestly, it's fine. Okay, so I zoomed you in as much as I can, and I think I'm going to focus on these more red orangey tones today. I feel like I've been doing a lot of like green looks. Well, maybe not a lot, but that's just what I feel like doing. I really want to play with these like oranges and reds. And I just can't even get over how beautiful this palette is. So I think to start, I'm going to go into this light orange shade called Soul. I apologize so sincerely for my pronunciation of these Spanish names because I absolutely have no idea what I'm saying. And I'm just going to put that in my crease as a transition shade. This is, I'm just so happy and excited to be using this palette. And this is such a beautiful, just bright orange. It's honestly just like a true bright orange. It's so pretty. I have the Muerte palette and I really do enjoy that, and I know this palette also got good reviews, but I find that, or I feel like, I mean, I haven't tried enough Melt products, but based on things that I've heard about Melt and their palettes, I think they can be pretty inconsistent. So even though I know that I like the Muerte palette, I wasn't sure if this was going to be like exactly the same, but with this one shade that I've used, it's really beautiful. And there's basically no kick up in that pan like whatsoever. It honestly looks like I haven't used it at all. Next, I'm going to go into this shade, this red shade on the end called Mexicana. And I'm just going to put that in my crease. This is the shade that I've been like just dying to use since I saw this palette and since I received it. There's something about reds that just really get me. After pink, well, I think red is probably tied with pink in terms of like my favorite eyeshadow color to wear. Both of these shades that I have tried or that I've worked with so far have been quite pigmented, but not so pigmented that they're difficult to use. I may have added a little bit too much on my other eye, but they're pigmented but still buildable, which is really ideal in my opinion anyway. And this Mexicana shade is also showing up as a very like true red. I don't feel like it's leaning super pink, which I find a lot of like red shades will just show up basically as like bright pinks. This is really showing up as like a true just red, which I absolutely love, and I feel like you don't really find that a lot. And they're also blending out really, really beautifully. Now I'm going to take a totally clean brush and blend the edges of that Mexicana shade out. And again, not much kick up in the pan at all. That doesn't really bother me. Kick up in the pan is not like a deal breaker for eyeshadow for me, but I just thought I would mention it. Now I'm going to take this deep brown shade called Chocolate, and I'm just going to put that in my outer corner and my crease as well, just to deepen things up. And this shade is blending out really, really beautifully as well, even though it's quite deep. And now I'm going to take that same brush that I took Mexicana on, no additional product, and just blend that deep brown out. And again, these are all blending really, really beautifully. Like I said, I usually like melt shadows, but I feel like you never really know what to expect because a lot of the palettes that they come out are like quite inconsistent. But in my opinion, their like themes, their color stories are just absolutely beautiful and so unique and well thought out. So they just keep pulling me back in. And then I'm just quickly going to run over the very edges of all of that again with a totally clean brush. And now that I feel like that's blended enough, I just want to mention that this chocolate shade did have more kick up than the other two lighter shades. Nothing really like super obnoxious, but okay, now the moment that I've been waiting for. I'm so excited. I'm going to take this Alegria shade and I'm going to put that on my lid. It's like a really beautiful fiery red orange metallic shade. I'm just going to wet that and just put that on my lid. I'm not going to cut my crease or anything. I'm just gonna put that everywhere. And I'm actually very pleasantly surprised with this shade. I am not the biggest fan of Melt's metallic formula generally. I find that it's pretty flaky, almost too soft and workable, but you know, it's a little bit more finicky. This I feel like doesn't have that like same soft, crumbly softness. It's a lot easier to work with, but it's showing up really, really beautiful and vibrant. I'm a fan of this shade. I'm going to take the brush that I used, that deeper chocolate brown, and just blend the edges out of the metallic shade that I place on my lid. I'm going to take the same brush that we used Mexicana on and blend that out a bit, just blending the edges. I'm going to take a little bit more of Mexicana and blend right on the edge on my lid where that metallic is. And then I'm also going to take a little touch more of the chocolate shade and just deepen up the outer corners just a touch. And I'm just going to go in with my finger with the Alegria shade and just intensify it a touch. And I'm going to take just a touch of that orange shade that we initially used, the shade Soul, and I'm just going to take a little bit and blend that over the very edge of the shadow just to help the blend and also bring back a little bit of that gradient. Okay, so now for my lower lash line, I'm not going to do anything revolutionary. I thought maybe about doing the greens on my lower lash line, but I really want to just keep this totally orangey red. So I'm just going to take the Mexicana shade and just place this along my lower lash line. And now I'm just going to take that same color and blend it out. Now on a small brush, I'm going to take the chocolate shade and run this close to my lower lash line. And on a little pencil brush, I'm just going to take just a tap of the chocolate shade and blend it into the red. And then I'm going to take the orange shade Soul and blend out the very edges of the red shade just so we get the same like red to orange gradient that we have on the top of my eyes. I honestly don't know what to call it. Top eyelid, bottom eyelid? I don't know. You understand what I'm trying to tell you. And today I'm really taking that far out. I'm feeling the fantasy, if you will. That's embarrassing that I said that. And I don't normally do this, but I'm feeling some type of way. So I'm going to take a little bit of the Allegria shade again, the shade that I used in my lid. And I'm going to take just a little, I'm going to wet it again, and I'm going to take this along my bottom lash line in the middle of my eyes, basically like right underneath my pupil. And I'm going to bring that down almost like below where I smoked out my lower lash line. Okay, and I think that pretty much finishes up the eyeshadow that I'm going to do. I'm just going to put blush and highlighter on, put some liner and mascara on, and then I'll be right back to give you my thoughts, even though you probably can guess what they are. Okay, so that finishes up this look. I actually just took a little of the shade Panteon. It just comes out French because I live in Quebec, but it's from the Amor Eterno Muerte palette from Melt. I keep wanting to say Milk because I used a Milk highlight. Everything that I used on the rest of my face will be in the description box, and I'm going to try to wrap this video up quickly because there is a wasp in the room that I'm filming in and I can't open the door because my light is right in front of it. So if I seem a little distracted, that is why. But I absolutely love the way this look came out. I feel like a vampire in just the best possible way. I feel so beautiful. And I absolutely love this palette. I wasn't sure how it was gonna go. I've said before in this video, Melt can be kind of inconsistent. I had heard good things, but you know, you can never be sure. But this, I think, is actually, based on the shades that I used, my favorite Melt palette that I've tried. I love the Muerte palette, which is like the sister palette to this palette. It's obviously the opposite. It's very deep and smoky, but this is, I think, performs even better than this. The deep shade that I used, the chocolate shade, blended out so beautifully while still being pigmented. It wasn't choppy or patchy or anything. The like orange and red shade that I used are just absolutely stunning. Easily, this is the best red shade that I've ever used. It's not pink at all. It's not even like that orange. It's honestly just a true red shade. The Allegria shade is also probably the best shimmer shade or metallic shade that I've used from Milk. It's normal like really crumbly, flaky texture that I find is oftentimes difficult to work with. And I'm just so pleased. I would highly recommend this palette more than even the Muerte palette. I am just so blown away. I mean, I love the Muerte palette, but this is just really, this is a good one, and I'm so excited to continue to use this, especially now that we're into summer. I just think it's such a beautiful, beautiful palette. If you are one of the 15 people that is probably going to watch this video, thank you so much for watching and tuning in. to hear my thoughts on a palette that's 6 months old. But you know what? Sometimes we gotta use old stuff because it's new to me. Anyway, I don't know, I'm so defensive about that. Now it's just time for me to attempt to take a picture of this look, even though I know that I'm not going to be able to because I'm so bad at taking thumbnails and makeup pictures. It really makes me quite sad. So yeah, thank you so much again for watching. Me and the Wasp bid you adieu, and I will see you next time. Bye!